Welcome to the Orderica JMS training videos. In this video, we're going to discuss customers. To access your customers, select Customers in the bottom left of the application. This section contains a list of all your customers as well as important information about them. Let's get started by creating a new customer. Click the green Add button in the top left. Here you will be presented with a form to fill out with all the information about the customer. Notice that there are 7 tabs of information. We start with General Information. Please note that the fields highlighted with a red box are required, while all others are optional. So at the top we have the customer number and creation date, which are filled automatically. Next to that, select a category for this customer if it applies. The source field is where you select how this customer found out about your company. Next we have the rating field, which is where you can rate the activity of the customer on a scale of 1 to 5. 3 is the default. Next we have referred by. If this customer was referred to your company by another customer in your database, press this button here to search for that customer. You can press the C button to clear the customer that has been selected. Next we have the spouse or partner information. If this customer has a spouse or partner who is already a customer in your database, select this button and choose that customer just as we did with the referred by field. You can also press the plus button here to create a new customer profile for the spouse right now. After selecting a spouse or partner, you can also enter in their anniversary date. Now let's move on to the customer info. Start by entering the name of the customer. If the customer is a corporate customer, select the Is Corporate box off to the right and instead enter in the name of the company. Then you can enter in the customer's full name if you want. The website field is especially useful with corporate customers as you can enter their company website. Then you can enter in a gender, date of birth, and ring size if needed. It's also possible to enter in a photo of the customer. Click on the placeholder image. Then select an image file from your computer, take an image with a connected camera, or paste an image that has been copied. Then click OK. Now we have some of the address and contact information. Enter in as many addresses that you want, selecting between the different types listed at the top here. Under the contact info, you can enter in phone numbers, emails, and even fax numbers. Lastly, there's some financial information that you can fill out if needed, such as credit limit and available credit, which can be applied to purchases of your products. Now let's move on to the Transactions tab. You don't have to enter anything on this page. It will be filled in automatically with information regarding transactions as the customer makes them. Let's take a quick look at a customer who has made some transactions already to get a better idea of this section. So here you can see a list of transactions that a customer has made. The tab shows important information regarding each transaction, such as its type, total cost, and status. If you'd like to print any of this information, you can select the transactions and use the Export To button in the top right and output the data to either a PDF or Excel file. Also, if you'd like to view more in-depth information regarding a transaction, select it and press the View Transaction button here, or just double-click on the transaction. Here you will see the full details of the transaction, including each individual SKU that was involved, tax amounts, and much more. You also have the option to now edit the transaction by doing things such as adding a new memo, creating credit or invoices for the items, or creating a clone of this transaction. The options you have are also dependent on the type of transaction you are viewing. For instance, this window here is for a memo and consignment. But if we go back and select an invoice transaction, for example, we will then have a slightly different window with a few different options. In this window, for example, we can add and edit payments for this invoice using the different buttons listed here, such as cash, check, or credit card. For a more detailed explanation on how to manage all the different types of transactions that a customer can make, be sure to watch our videos on the account receivable section. So that's all for the transaction section. Now let's go back to our original customer creation and move on to the call log section. Here you can keep records of calls made to this customer. To add a new call log, press the Add button at the bottom of the window. Enter in the date and time you want to make the call, followed by a subject. You can select to notify one of your employees about this call by selecting a user under the Notify User field. Just press this button and search for the user that you want. Finally, enter in a description for the call log, and then press OK. Use the Edit and Delete buttons to configure your list. Now let's move on to the wish list. Here you can keep track of the products that this customer is interested in. Press the Add button at the bottom here. If this customer wants a particular product, but wants it for someone other than themselves, enter in a name under the For Who section. Then enter an occasion if it applies. Next, enter the SKU of the product, or press the magnifying glass button on the side to search for a product to select. Now let's go to the Notes tab. On this tab, you can create any notes that you want about this customer to view later. To add a new note, simply press the green Add button in the top left. Enter in a short description that serves as a title for the note, as well as a long description for the note itself. Then press OK. Use the Edit and Delete buttons to configure your list of notes. Moving on to the Alerts tab. Here you can create alerts to notify you events that apply to this customer. Click the Add button to create a new alert. Enter in the title of the alert. Select Inactive if you don't want this alert to be active yet. Select the start and end dates. Then enter in some notes and an image if you want. Press OK, and if your alert is active, then you'll be notified of it during the set times. Use the Edit and Delete buttons to configure your list of alerts. The last tab is the History tab, which, similar to the Transactions tab, will be filled automatically as changes occur to the customer's records. When you're all done, click the Save button to complete the customer creation. In the Customers menu, you'll be presented with all of the customers in a list format. When you select a customer, the bottom of the page will show you all of the details of that customer. You can always select the View page at the top here and choose whether to move that section to the right or remove it entirely. To edit a customer profile, select the customer and then click the yellow Edit button, or just double-click on the customer. You'll be given the same window we just filled out, and you can change any of the information you want. To delete a customer, select them and press the red Delete button in the top left. Now, if you want to organize your list of customers by a particular field, you can click and drag that field to the blue bar at the top of the list, and your customers will automatically be grouped and organized. You can also use the Search button in the Loading section at the top here to filter the customers that are shown in this list by different fields, including source and gender. To change between the pages of customers, you can press the arrow keys at the top here, or you can select the drop-down menu and select which page to switch to directly. Lastly, you can use the Export To button in the top right to export your customers list to a PDF or Excel file. Select the boxes on the left for the customers you want to be included in the file, or just click on the box at the top to include the whole page of customers. Then click the Export To button and select either PDF or Excel to begin downloading your file. Well, that concludes our video. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@orderica.com. Thank you for watching.